Hello and welcome to 1969 baseball. The Cubs are continuing this road trip with Game 2 at Houston against the Astros. The Cubs, winning a hard-fought 4-3 game yesterday, are going to come back and look to make it a guaranteed 2 out of 3 in the Astrodome today. For today's game, the Cubs are going to send Ferguson Jenkins out to the mound. He is making start number 9 with a 1-3 record, 3.08 ERA, and a 1.04 WHIP. Jenkins will have a lineup of Gosger, Beckert, Williams, Santo, Blomberg, Hundley, Kessinger, Banks, and the pitcher Jenkins batting 9th. The Astros are going to send righty Tom Griffin out to the mound. He's making start number 8 with a 4-2 record, 4.47 ERA, 1.23 WHIP. The Astros lineup today will be Menke, Miller, Mayberry, Wynn, Watson, Rader, Martinez, Brandt, and the pitcher Griffin batting 9th. We are again under the dome and under the lights here in Houston, so the weather will not be a factor in today's ball game. As the Astros take the mound, Jim Gosger steps up to the plate to lead off for the Cubs. Cubs coming in 7 games under 500 at 15-22, 6th place in the NL East, while the Astros, leading the NL West, are at 25-13. Gosger is waiting for the 3-1 pitch as Griffin is on the mound, and here's the delivery. And a drive deep left field going back toward the corner is the left fielder, and Miller's going to track it down for out number 1. Next up, Glenn Beckert, 1 out and nobody on. Here's the first pitch to Glenn Beckert and a pop-up on the infield. Second baseman and shortstop converge. The second baseman calls for it, and that is out number 2. Next up, Billy Williams with 2 outs and nobody on. Williams waiting for the 1-ball pitch. Here's the delivery. And a drive into center. This is going to be playable. The center fielder is going to get under it, and he'll make the catch to end the inning. So the Cubs go down in order. We're going down to the bottom of the first of a scoreless ball game. Menke leading off against Jenkins here in the bottom of the first. 2-2 count. Ferguson Jenkins looking for the sign and delivering the pitch. And there's a drive deep right center field. That's going all the way to the gap, to the wall. Rounding first and heading for second is Menke. He's going to have a leadoff double for Houston. So now Jenkins is going to be working from the stretch with a runner on second and bringing up Norm Miller. Nobody out, 1 man on. Here's a 1-2 count. Jenkins delivering the pitch.
Strike 3.
Strike 3 is called. Ferguson Jenkins strikes him out with the fastball. So Mr. Miller heads back to the dugout, and that brings up Mayberry. With 1 out, runner still on second. Here's a 2-2 pitch and a swing and a miss for strike 3. Jenkins gets the strikeout with the slider. And that's strikeout number 2 of this game. Jim Wynn, the next batter. 2 outs, 1 man on. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and strike 3 is called. Ferguson Jenkins rings him out. After the leadoff double, he strikes out the next 3 batters. We're going to the top of the second. It is a scoreless ball game here in Houston. Ron Santo leading off against Griffin here in the top of the second inning. 2 strike count. Santo waiting for the pitch. And a pop-up off the end of the bat toward right field. Coming in as the right fielder, Brandt makes the catch for out number 1. Next up is Blomberg with 1 out and nobody on. Ron Blomberg batting with a 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. He chased 1 outside the zone. So 2 outs in the inning, and it brings up Randy Hundley with 2 outs and nobody on. 1-2 is the count, and Hundley watches strike 3 go by on the inside corner. So Griffin gets his second strikeout of the game. We're going to the bottom of the second of a scoreless affair. Ferguson Jenkins stepping back out on the mound to face Bob Watson. 1 strike count, Watson waiting for the pitch. And a liner into right, that's going to drop in for a single. So another leadoff base hit for the Astros as Watson stops on first, and it brings up Doug Rader. Nobody out, 1 man on. 1-ball count, Ferguson Jenkins delivering the pitch. Liner into right, this time Blomberg is going to play it on a hop once again. The throw goes to the cutoff man. Man, I thought Blomberg was going to get in and make that play, but he did not. So the runner goes first to third. That's a single for Rader, and suddenly the Astros are threatening. With nobody out and runners on the corners, Martinez looking to drive in a run for the Astros right here. Here's the first pitch from Ferguson Jenkins. And a pop-up to short center field. Gosger coming in. He's going to make the catch. He throws home. The throw comes home, the slide, and the runner is safe. So Watson tags up and scores the first run of this ball game. The Astros take the 1-0 lead on the Martinez sacrifice fly. And now Brandt is the batter. 1 out, 1 man on. 1-2 is the count. Ferguson Jenkins delivering the pitch. And a drive into center. This time going back is Gosger, but he hauls it in with his back to the infield for out number 2. Long run, but Gosger made a good defensive reaction and got to that ball. So next up is the pitcher Griffin with 2 outs and nobody on. Here's the first pitch to Griffin and a grounder in front of the plate. Hundley picks it up, throws over to first, and that'll end the inning. The Astros strand a runner, they score 1. We're going to the top of the third of a 1-0 ball game. Don Kessinger facing Griffin here to lead off for the Cubs in the top of the third. Full count. Kessinger grounding it towards short. I'm pretty sure he just swung at ball 4. The throw goes over to first, and that is out number 1. Next up is Ernie Banks with 1 out and nobody on. 3-0 count. Banks waiting for the pitch. That is inside under the elbows. And he goes down to first as he draws the walk. Jenkins now the batter. Facing off with Griffin in a sacrifice situation. Jenkins going to be asked to lay down the bunt. Here is the first pitch, and he lays down the bunt coming back toward the mound. The pitcher has it. Throws to the second baseman covering first, and that'll be out number 2. Ernie Banks advancing to second on the play, and it brings up Jim Gosger. He is 0 for 1 today with 2 outs and runner in scoring position. Here's a 1-2 count, and Gosger grounds weakly in front of the plate. The catcher picks it up, throws down the first, and that'll end the inning. So the Cubs strand a runner, they do not score. We're going to the bottom of the third of a 1-0 ball game. Menke facing Jenkins here in the bottom of the third inning. 1-2 is the count. Jenkins delivers strike 3 on a check swing. That's the first out of the inning. And strikeout number 4 on the day for Ferguson Jenkins. 1 out, nobody on. Miller facing Jenkins with a 1-strike count. Here comes the pitch. And a drive into the gap in left center field. That's going for extra bases. Rounding first, heading for second is Miller. He's going to slide into second with a 1-out double. So the Astros with another runner in scoring position. 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. And that will bring up Mayberry with 1 out, 1 man on. Jenkins working with a 1-ball count. And a liner to left. That's deep. It looks like it is going to be gone. So that is a 2-run home run for Mayberry, 388 feet out down the left field line. And now it is a 3-run Astros lead here in the bottom of the third inning. So Jenkins now facing Jim Wynn with 1 out and nobody on. Here's the 1-2 count. Jenkins delivering the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Wynn takes a seat. He is strikeout victim number 5. And that brings up Watson. 2 outs, nobody on. 1-ball count. Fergie Jenkins delivers. There's a liner into left. The shift was on and the left fielder was out of position. So Williams, on the long run, has to play it on a hop. That is going to be a single to the opposite field. And now Rader is the batter with 2 outs and a runner on first. 2-2 count. Jenkins delivers. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Jenkins gets the strikeout. That is number 6 on the day for him. And the Astros score twice. We're going to the top of the 4th of a 3-0 ball game. Cubs need to get some runs, get back in this ball game. Glenn Beckert is going to lead off for the Cubs against Tom Griffin here in the top of the 4th inning. 1 strike count. Beckert delivering a fly ball to deep center field. Jim Wynn looks like he has a line on it. He takes some steps back and makes the catch for out number 1. Oh, and Griffin has to come out of the ball game. It looks like he hurt his back throwing that last pitch. The Cubs may have just caught a break. Griffin was throwing lights out baseball. He had no hit through 3 1/3 innings. And now Danny Combs is the batter. The pitcher, for the coming out of the Astros bullpen. He's thrown 16 2/3 with 13 walks, 10 strikeouts, and a 10.80 ERA. He's going to face Billy Williams. with one out in the top of the fourth inning. Here's a 1-1 count. The lefty Combs facing the lefty Williams, looking for the sign. And here's the pitch. And there's a drive into the gap in left center field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Billy Williams has the first Cub hit of this ball game. He's motoring into second with a one-out double. So the Cubs getting their first base hit and a chance to score here in the top of the fourth, bringing up Ron Santo. Billy Williams has his 10th double on the season. Santo now facing Combs with one out, one man on. Here's a full count pitch to Santo, and that is outside for ball 4. So the Cubs now have second and first with one out, and Blomberg is the next batter. He is going to face Combs as the tying run here in the top of the fourth inning. 2 men on, 1 out. Blomberg waiting for the full count pitch. And that is outside. It is ball 4. So that will load the bases as Williams heads down to third and Santo trots over to second. Randy Hundley now the batter. 1 out, bases loaded. Cubs down by 3 in the top of the fourth inning. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Randy Hundley. And he's going to ground that one towards short. The throw goes to second, the relay to first, and there is a 6-4-3 double play. So the Cubs leave the bases loaded. We're going to the bottom of the fourth inning of a 3-0 ball game. Jenkins facing Martinez here at the bottom of the fourth. 1 ball count, Jenkins delivering the pitch. And there's a grounder toward first. Ernie Banks has it. He steps on the base, 3 unassisted for the first out of the inning. Jenkins now facing Brandt with 1 out and nobody on. 2-1 is the count. And a grounder toward third. Santo has it. He throws over to first. That's going to be out number 2. Next up is the Leon McFadden. Oh, he was brought in on a double switch when Combs was brought in to pitch. So McFadden now is the third baseman for the Astros. And he is facing Jenkins with 2 outs and nobody on here at the bottom of the fourth inning. Jenkins delivering the first pitch. And there's a liner deep left center field. The outfielders just turn and watch as it leaves the ballpark. That is 449 feet out to left center field. And a 4-0 lead for the Houston Astros. Jenkins gives up his second gopher ball of the day. Menke now the batter with 2 outs and nobody on. Jenkins working with a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Strike 3. Swing and a miss for strike 3. That is strikeout number 7. Went after the curveball that was down by his toes. So now we go to the top of the 5th of a 4-0 Astros lead. Kessinger is going to face Combs here in the top of the 5th inning. 3-1 is the count. Kessinger takes outside for ball 4. So he draws the leadoff walk. Combs now with 3 walks in the ball game, and Ernie Banks is the next batter. Nobody out, 1 man on. Banks waiting for the 1-strike pitch. Here it comes. And a liner into center field. I believe that's going to be caught as the center fielder Wynn comes in and makes the play for out number 1. Next up is Fergie Jenkins, and this is going to be a sacrifice situation for him. He's going to be asked to lay down the bunt with a 1-1 count. He pops it up. The first baseman races in, and Mayberry makes the catch for out number 2. So the sacrifice is unsuccessful, and that brings up Gosger with 2 outs and 1 man on. Here's a 2-2 pitch, and a liner into right field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Rounding second, heading for third is Kessinger. Too bad that sacrifice didn't work out, because that would have possibly driven in a run. So Gosger with the 2-out single gives the Cubs runners on the corners with 2 outs, and Glenn Beckert's the next batter. Combs facing Beckert here in the top of the 5th inning. First pitch to Glenn Beckert. And a liner past the third baseman in the left field. That's going to drive in a run. Coming home to score is Kessinger. This is now a 4-1 ball game. Gosger advancing to second as Beckert gets the RBI single, and now Billy Williams is the batter with 2 outs and runners on first and second. Williams waiting for the 3-1 pitch. Combs looking for the sign. And the delivery. That is outside. It is ball 4. So Billy Williams takes the walk, and the Cubs have loaded the bases for the second consecutive inning. Ron Santo now the batter. He's coming up with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Cubs down by 3 in the top of the 5th inning. Combs working with a 1-2 count. Here comes the pitch. And a pop-up to left. Not going to get it done. The left fielder gets under it, and Miller making the catch to end the inning. The Cubs leave the bases loaded. They do score once. We're going to the bottom of the fifth of a 4-1 ball game. Jenkins now facing Miller here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Jenkins working with a 2-strike count. Here comes the pitch. Liner up the middle. Shortstop has it. Kessinger throws over to first. That is going to be out number 1. Next up is Mayberry. He is 1 for 2 with a home run in this game. Facing Jenkins with a 1-strike count. Here comes the pitch from Ferguson Jenkins. And a pop-up toward third base. Santo going over. He calls for it. And he'll make the catch for out number 2. Next up is Jim Wynn. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's a full count pitch. Wynn waiting. And there's a liner up the middle. That is going to be a 2-out single as Wynn makes a big turn but stops at first. So that is the 8th hit of the ball game for the Astros. It brings up Bob Watson. 2 outs, 1 man on. Jenkins working, delivering the first pitch, and a drive deep center field. Going back is Gosger, and he makes the catch. Running catch toward the wall to end the inning. So the Astros strand a runner. We're going to the top of the 6th. It's still a 3-run Houston lead. Blomberg facing Combs here in the top of the 6th inning. Leading off for the Cubs. There's a 1-1 count. Blomberg waiting for the pitch. And there's a drive into the gap in right center field. That's going to be extra bases. Blomberg rounding first, heading for second. He is going to slide, and he will be safe at second with a leadoff double. Well, the Cubs are getting into the second half of this ball game here, needing to get some runs, get back into it. Blomberg gets him a good start with a leadoff double. Randy Hundley now the batter. He is 0 for 2 today. Facing Combs with nobody out and a runner on second. Here is the first pitch to Randy Hundley. And a pop-up to center. Medium depth. Wynn has the line on it, and he makes the catch for out number 1, excuse me. Don Kessinger now the batter. Kessinger 0 for 1 today. He faces Combs with 1 out. Runner still on second. Here's a 2-2 pitch, and he's going to swing and miss for strike 3. Kessinger goes down swinging at the fastball, and it brings up Ernie Banks with 2 outs and a runner on second. Combs facing Banks with a 2-0 count. Here comes the pitch. And a drive deep center field. Look at it go. Ernie Banks has just hit a 2-run home run in the top of the 6th inning. 446 feet to straightaway center field. And the Astros lead is down to 1. Ernie Banks coming through for the Cubs here in the top of the 6th inning. This is now a 4-3 ball game, and Ferguson Jenkins is the next batter. He's going to be allowed to hit against Combs with 2 outs and nobody on. Here comes the full count pitch, and he swings and misses for strike 3. So Jenkins strikes out to end the inning. The Cubs score twice. We're going to the bottom of the 6th of a 4-3 ball game. Next up is Darrell Tomas. He is going to pinch hit for the pitcher spot, leading off in the bottom of the 6th inning. Jenkins coming out for inning of work number 6. He is working with a 1-strike count. Jenkins delivering. Grounder towards second. Beckert has it. Throws over to first. That'll be out number 1. Next up is Marty Martinez with 1 out and nobody on here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here's a 2-2 count and the pitch from Jenkins. And a pop-up to left center field. Heading over is Gosger, and he's going to make the catch. That'll be out number 2. Grant now the batter with 2 outs and nobody on. Jenkins facing Grant with a 1-2 count. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. So Jenkins gets a strikeout on the sinker to end the 6th inning. The Astros are retired in order. We go to the top of the 7th of a 4-3 ball game. Gosger is going to lead off against the new Astro reliever, Fred Gladding. Gladding has thrown 11 2/3 innings of 1 walk, 5 strikeout baseball with a 1.54 ERA. Gladding facing the top of the Cubs lineup in the top of the 7th inning. Gladding working with a 2-2 count. Gosger waiting for the pitch. And here it comes. And Gosger's going to pop that one up off the end of his bat to left field. That is going to be playable, and Miller makes the catch for out number 1. Next is Glenn Beckert. One out and nobody on. Beckert facing Gladding with a 2-2 count. Here it comes. And a liner into center field. That is going to be caught by Wynn for out number 2. Billy Williams now the batter. 2 outs and nobody on. 2-2 count to Billy Williams. Here comes the pitch. And a pop-up to left. Coming in again is the left fielder Miller. He puts it away for out number 3. It is time to stretch now in Houston. We go to the bottom of the 7th of a 4-3 ball game. So Ferguson Jenkins still pitching for the Cubs. He's coming in to face McFadden and then the top of the Astros lineup here in the bottom of the 7th inning. We're getting to the point where we might have a short leash with Jenkins if he ends up getting in any sort of trouble here. So 1 strike count, Jenkins looking to deliver the pitch. Here it comes. Ground ball towards short. Kessinger has it. Throws to Banks. That'll be out number 1. Next up is Menke with 1 out, nobody on. Jenkins working with a 1 strike count once again. Here comes the pitch. Pop up toward first base. Ernie Banks calls for it. He makes the catch. That is out number 2. Miller now the batter. 2 outs and nobody on. 3-0 count. Jenkins delivering. That is outside. It is ball 4. So that is a 2-out walk on 4 straight pitches. Miller earning his 17th walk of the season, and now Mayberry is the batter. With 2 outs and 1 man on, Mayberry facing Jenkins here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 3-1 is the count. And that's ball 4 low, so Jenkins issued back-to-back walks here in the bottom of the 7th. And that'll get some activity going in the Cub bullpen. We're going to see, oh my, we're going to see Paul Edmondson is going to get warmed up here for the Cubs. We're going to visit the mound. Jenkins says, no worries. Well, we're worried. You just walked 2 straight batters. We're definitely worried. You're facing Jim Wynn now with 2 outs and 2 men on. Here's a full count pitch. And a ground ball towards short. Kessinger has it, throws to first, and that'll end the inning. So Jenkins getting in and out of a jam here in the 7th. We go to the top of the 8th of a 4-3 ball game. So one way or the other, Jenkins' day is over. Santo is going to lead off against the new pitcher, Doobie Womack, for the Astros here in the top of the 8th inning. Womack has thrown 23 in the 3rd innings, 13 walks, 14 strikeouts, and a 3.47 ERA. Santo coming up, 0 for 2 today, leading off for the Cubs in the top of the 8th. 1 strike count. Santo is waiting for the pitch. Womack looking for the sign and the delivery. And a ground ball towards short. Throw over to first, and Santo's retired by a couple of steps from number 1. Next up is Blomberg. With 1 out and the base is empty, Blomberg waiting for the 1 ball count. Here's the pitch. And a drive, deep center field, going back toward the wall is the center fielder. He's going to make the catch on the warning track for out number 2. Man, Blomberg gave that one a ride. That was the deepest part of the ballpark. Basically straight away center field. So now Randy Hundley is the batter. 2 outs and nobody on. Womack facing Hundley with a 3-0 count. Here is the pitch. Ball 4. Hundley draws the walk, and that will put the tying run on base for the Cubs as Don Kessinger comes up. We are going to get Edmondson back up just in case that Kessinger ends the inning. So Kessinger facing Womack with Hundley on first and 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. This does seem like a situation where we would want to pinch run. Herman Hill will be brought in. He is going to pinch run for the catcher, Hundley, here in the top of the 8th inning. Cubs down by 1. Kessinger the batter, 2 outs. Here's a full count pitch and a grounder towards short. Picked up, thrown over to first, and Kessinger ends the inning on a ground out, 6-3. So the Cubs stranding a runner. We're going to the bottom of the 8th inning of a 4-3 ball game. So now we have a decision to make. I'm actually going to let Edmondson, he's going to pitch. Herman Hill is is going to be substituted, and Felsky is going to be the new catcher. So now Watson facing Edmondson here at the bottom of the 8th inning. Edmondson has thrown 7 2/3 innings, walked 1, struck out 4, and has a 1.17 ERA on the season. Edmondson facing Watson to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning. 1-2 is the count. Edmondson looking to deliver the pitch. Looking for the sign. Here's the pitch. Pop up to right. Blomberg coming in fast. He looks up and he makes the catch. That's out number 1. Next up is Womack. With 1 out and nobody on, here's a full count pitch to Womack. And that is strike 3 called. A forkball. And he gets rung up with a pitch right at the knees. So now Martinez is the batter with 2 outs and nobody on. Martinez facing Edmondson here at the bottom of the 8th inning. 1 strike count. Here comes the pitch. And a pop up to center. Coming in is Gosger. He looks up. Oh, and he drops it. Gosger drops it. And Williams is going to be on second on the error. He didn't ever stop running. So Gosger with the defensive miscue puts a runner on second with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning, and now Brandt is the batter. Edmondson facing Brandt with a 1 strike count. Here comes the pitch. And a liner past the third baseman into left field. That's going to be a base hit. The throw comes home. The runner's coming home. The runner is safe. And the Astros capitalize on the error and take the 5th run of the ball game as they score a run on the Brandt RBI double. So now McFadden the batter with 2 outs and the runner still on second. Here's a 2-2 count. Here comes the pitch. Grounder toward third. Santo has it and he can't make a play. Santo can't get it on the transfer out of his glove. McFadden is credited with an infield single and Brandt takes third. And now Menke is the batter. 2 outs. Runners on the corners. Edmondson facing Menke with a 1-ball count. Here comes the pitch, and that one gets away. It skips all the way to the backstop. The wild pitch is going to let the run score. The Astros now have a 6-3 lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Edmondson still facing Menke with the runner now on second and another run in. Here is the full count pitch and a grounder back toward the mound. Edmondson has it. He throws over to first, and that'll end the inning. So the Astros score twice, beneficiaries of the error in center field. And now we go to the top of the 9th. It is a 6-3 ball game. Womack is going to face Banks, but we're going to have a pinch hitter here. Wes Parker is going to be asked to pinch hit for the Cubs to lead off the bottom of the top of the 9th inning. Parker coming up, top of the 9th, leading off for the Cubs down by 3. Here's a 1-1 count. Parker waiting for the pitch. He's going to ground that one toward first. The first baseman has it, but he bobbles it. Mayberry bobbles it, and Parker's going to be safe at first. So the Astros get their first error of the game, and now the pitcher Edmondson is up. Parker is not particularly speedy over there. However, we have an answer for that. Willie Smith is going to be the next pitch hitter for the Cubs against the righty Womack. Excuse me, Womack's a lefty. Well, no, he throws right. He bats left. That's not more confusing. Okay, so Willie Smith is going to pinch hit, and Rick Blatt is going to pinch run for Parker. So now we're also going to need to warm somebody up, and it's going to be Jim Brewer. If we get to the bottom of the 9th inning, we're going to need Brewer to come in and pitch. So now Smith facing Womack with Blatt on first and nobody out in the top of the 9th inning. Blatt is going to be looking to run here. We're going to see what happens with the first pitch. That is a slider for strike 1. So now we're going to try to steal second on the second pitch. Here it comes. Oh, and that is a strike, but Blatt decided to hold it first. Well, now with a 2-strike count, Smith has to be swinging away. Let's see what he does. He's going to swing and miss for strike 3. So that's the end of the at-bat for Smith. We'll bring up Gosger with 1 out, the runner still on first. Blatt is going to be looking to take off on the first pitch here. He goes, he slides into second, and he is out. Watson has thrown out 15 of 26 base runners this season. Wow. All right, so I guess I just ran myself out of that inning. We still got 2 outs, though, and Gosger batting with a 1-ball count, and he's going to take inside. So we can switch this back over. Here's the full count pitch to Gosger. He's going to line that one into center field. That'll be a base hit. So he stops at first with a single. And now, next up is Glenn Becker. 2 outs, 1 man on. Here's a 1-2 count. And Glenn Becker's going to pop that one up to left. This will probably end the ball game. The left fielder gets under him. He'll make the catch to end the inning. So the Cubs fall to the Astros 6-3. The Cubs getting 3 runs on 6 hits with 1 error. The Astros 6 runs on 10 hits with 1 error. The player of today's game is the Cubs' Ferguson Jenkins. 7 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Edmondson threw an inning of relief. 2 unearned runs scored in that inning. And Griffin was taken out of this game injured. Do we have an update? He has a herniated disc and he's out 3 weeks. Okay, well that's interesting to know. So Griffin does not qualify for the win because he didn't throw 5 innings. Combs gets the win. He went 2 2/3, 5 hits, 4 walks, 3 runs. I don't know how we didn't score more runs off him. Gladding threw an inning of scoreless relief, and Womack threw 2 innings to get his 5th save of the season. So the Cubs fall to 15-23 while the Astros improve to 26-13. Thank you for watching 1969 Baseball.